Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Sarcasm Speaks. It's Jared and Bob. And I got something right out of the gate here that I don't know, I think is interesting for us to cover. So we have talked a little bit about the whole big beautiful bill thing about how the government's kind of bullshit. Again, I trying to actively trying to stay a little bit more away from like the whole political commentary shit. Just because I think it just gets old and I'm sort of tired of it and I hear it all the time. And yeah, we're just trying to be a little bit different, right? That I think most people are just kind of tired of that. But so aside from that, there is a part of that I found out the other day that I'm actually all in on. So as a whole, I think it's stupid, right? But this one little piece in particular affects higher education. So I'll just read this here. So President Trump has overseen a tightening of rules on universities' ability to enroll foreign students, potentially hitting a major revenue source for schools. Some students have also indicated an unwillingness to study in the United States, given the detaining of students who criticize the U.S. government or Israel, along with new requirements for students to provide their social media accounts via visa screeners. I didn't know about that part. That part is kind of stupid. I don't like that. I don't know, whatever, but I'll move on. On top of this, the Big Beautiful Bill has implemented rules capping some graduate students' ability to borrow and taxing university endowments. This is the part that I'm all in on. So the BBB is projected to cost universities $761 million over 10 years, right? Specifically, it modifies an existing flat 1.4% tax on university endowments to a multi-tiered rate of up to 8%, with larger endowments subject to the highest rate and schools with fewer than 3,000 tuition-paying students being exempt completely, right? So if it's a very small school, they don't have to pay any tax on their endowments. Um, the as of right now, right, all universities have to pay 1.4% tax on whatever endowments they have, right? So a school like Yale, Brown, Harvard, I don't know what their endowments are, but I would imagine they're in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Um, they only have to pay 1.4%. Moving forward, it's now going to be a multi-tiered rate. So similar to how we pay taxes, right, as people. You pay 10% on the first like 11,000, then you pay 12% on the next 7,000 or whatever it is all the way up. So you may fall in the 22% tax bracket, but your effective tax rate is only like, 17.2%, right? Depending on how the math works out. So now effectively that's going to hit the universities. Again, I'm all in on that. So there's a little bit more here. So the endowment tax means that, so this is a quote. The endowment tax means that Yale will pay an estimated $280 million in the first year it is in effect and likely more in subsequent years, said Yale's president. Universities have said they may pass these costs on to students, right? Because that would be my first thing. If you're going to tax the universities, well, what does that mean? Oh, the tuition rates are going to go up. Okay, well, wait for part two. Yet, the BBB has also capped student federal borrowing at 100,000 or 200,000 depending on the program. So the total amount of program, right? So the most, say I don't know what they are, I'm making it up. Say it's a lawyer, right? You're going to law school. That seems like it would be it's more expensive and also would have a higher rate so that you're capped at borrowing $200,000 for the entirety of the program. Okay, so what does that do? Well, that potentially puts a limit on the university's ability to keep hiking tuition, right? It also modifies student loan repayment programs, potentially making it costlier to take out large loans. So now people are disincentivized to taking out large loans. And there's also a limitation on how much money they can take out, right? So now that's going to affect the university because Harvard can't turn around and be like, oh yeah, all this new endowment tax. Well, guess what? It was 90,000 a year to come here, but Now it's 102. Well, the people that want to go to Harvard may be capped at taking out $200,000 a year, which would only, I'm sorry, $200,000 for the program, which would only cover Harvard for 2 years. What are they going to do after that? They don't have the money, right? So now what's Harvard going to do? Well, I don't know. No one really have. I'm sure some people have thought that far, but now this disincentivizes Harvard from jacking up their rates to be like, oh yeah, no, now it's 115 grand a year to come here. Well, I can't afford that, and now I also am capped at only borrowing $200,000 for a program. So I guess I'm going to go to UConn because UConn is
Which
60
one
grand,
math don't work either.
right? But like, you know what I mean? Like it's just it's a way to basically stick it to the universities and the colleges. So the last part here is according to NAFSA, a network of international education and exchange organizations, 75% of universities also anticipate a drop of at least 10% in foreign student enrollment. Foreign students are more likely to pay full freight and constitute a major cash source for some universities. Um, Analyses suggest that the enrollment drop could cost universities anywhere from 900 million to $3 billion. So again, I am all on board with this. I am willing to look the other way in this instance, as far as, this whole BBB thing goes, because I am so fucking sick and tired of universities and the education system being ridiculous, right? Like we've talked about it so many times on this show, but I forget what it was when you first started at Bridgewater in '08, but when I first started in
13,000 was there.
Bridgewater, what was it?
13,000 that was there.
13,000. Yeah. So when I first started in 2010, I think it was just shy of 15, right? It was like 14 and change, but we'll call it 15 for argument's sake. By the time I graduated from grad school, now obviously I did different, there's different rates, grad school, undergrad, but I still knew what the undergrad rates were. So from 2010 to 2016, the undergrad tuition, like all in, right? Because sometimes they skate the question by saying tuition, right? And they're like, oh, it's just tuition. But no, the all in cost, right, to live on campus went from $15,000 a year to, I think it was 21,000.
It was 20 by the time I left, but that's because, the different dorms are more expensive and
Right.
stuff like that.
Right. So from what is that? That's 21 minus 15 is 6. So 6 divided by 15, that's 40%. That's a 40% increase in 6 years for the cost of Bridgewater State. Bridgewater State, a state school in the middle of nowhere in Massachusetts, right? So like it's getting ridiculous and unreasonable, and I know it's well documented how much I hate the education system. Um, but if this is gonna fuck them over, I'm all on board, right? Because again, lest we not forget, all of these educational institutions are nonprofit organizations. They're all nonprofits, which means they don't pay business taxes, right? They don't pay the same kind of taxes on any of their revenue, right? Obviously, they pay tax on their endowments, right, which is donation. It's a fancy word for donation. Um, but they pay money on they pay taxes on that, right? And it's going from 1.4 to 8%, right, at the highest tier. Um, and now it's hitting them, right? It's going to hit them in the wallet.
So deep down, do you actually think the blue blood Ivies give a fuck about any of this?
Um, I think they probably care more about the endowment tax.
Right. That's kind of like, yeah, because that's a legitimate just increase. Like there's nothing
Right,
different there.
right.
But I don't think So I think where you're going to see this. So there's a couple things, right? So what does this bill, who's to benefit from this bill? And it would be, in my opinion, first of all, the private loan companies. So I don't know who they are. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what the banks they're backed by. Like I don't know. Like so someone's to benefit there because if someone from Massachusetts wants to go to UConn and UConn is $70,000 a year and they're only going to get 100K back, they're going to get the loan for 110. Like no one who's sitting here going like, "Oh, I really really want to go to UConn. I really want to do what's the big one at UConn? I kind of forget off the top of my head, but
I
is
don't
like
even know.
broadcasting or journalism. I don't know.
Oh,
I
yeah, yeah,
completely
yeah.
forget.
It's a journalism school. That's right. That's
So it's
right.
like if someone's like, I really want to be a journalist and I really want to go to UConn and I that's what I want to do, you're not going to convince them to go to UMass Dartmouth. Like it's just not going to happen. So they're going to get the private loan from somewhere. And again, now this would be a bigger topic where it's like, whether it's financial literacy or learning how loans actually work, like that education doesn't exist and it's not going to because it's bad for business. So
Right.
that'll never happen. But, the big public universities are going to be fine. The Ivy Leagues are going to be fine. The NESCACs are going to be fine. I see where this hurts is the Suffolks, the lower level privates, right?
Like a
They,
Stonehill.
yeah, like a Stonehill. Um, I don't really know, like whoever's in that Stonehill kind of realm where it's like Stonehill's a good school, don't get me wrong, but it's like it's probably not up there with some of these other ones we're talking about.
Right.
So it's
Right.
like, yeah, like Harvard and Yale and them, and dude, they'll find a way around that tax. Like just like anybody who's ever paid a tax with enough money and resources, they'll find a way around it. I don't know what that'll be. I don't know how. Um, they'll find a way. It's the middle ground. So I think your state programs stand to benefit. I think your private lenders stand to benefit, and I think, truthfully, like I think your established schools are only going to get stronger, even though it's going to cost them more on their endowments and shit. Like, again, they'll find another way. I don't know how. It's not my
Yeah.
realm, so I don't know how they'll do it. But like, nothing would get passed through the government that would like hurt the established
Yeah.
academic institutions in this country. So I think the only ones that will stand to get fucked are the ones in the middle.
Yeah. You know what I just thought of too, in addition to that, because I think that's a good point. Is I think this is also gonna potentially remove I don't even know the punching up people, right? So the kid from Dorchester that graduated valedictorian from Boston English High School that gets accepted into Harvard, right? Like that kid maybe comes from a single parent household, right? So like the underprivileged kid that's very smart, the overachiever, the academic elite, right? But from a non-economic elite background, they can't afford that. And then if they're being capped on the amount of money that they can take out to go to school, then a place like Harvard no longer becomes an option
But then that's on Harvard to either lower the rate so that you get the person
or
in
provide them with
and
scholarships. Yeah.
and subsidize it with the other people that'll pay no matter what.
Right. Right.
That's
Yeah.
another
Because I mean,
thing.
some of those schools, had,
Those people don't even pay. Dude,
we
those people
just
don't even get
we
loans.
just went to state schools, right? Like we don't know
Yeah.
how it really works, but like Harvard could turn around and be like, oh, yeah, no, because like the state gives you grant money, right? But Harvard might just turn around and be like, oh, you qualify for this grant where we'll pay,
Yeah.
$60,000 of the hundred a year. So now you only owe 40 a year. So now
Yeah.
you're covered under this and that. So like, yeah, I mean, yeah, as we talk through it, maybe I think it makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, that was just a thought that I had, like as I'm sitting here being like, if someone from an underprivileged community that is an academic high achiever they don't have the financial capability to go to one of these schools.
No, but they probably don't now, and they probably don't have the ability to take out that like giant loan either. So
Yeah.
that's what I mean. It's like it all sounds good. Like anytime that you could like potentially get reform, but like, dude, like anything that sounds good coming from like the government these days, I immediately like my new like whenever I hear anything, and I'm trying not to hear anything. I'm actively trying not to pay any attention. But whenever someone comes at me and it's like, or I see it on Twitter or whatever, and it's like, oh wow, this is a good thing because it'll do this. And I'm like, okay, so it won't do that. Whatever you just said it will do, it will not
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then follow the money or who's the benefit or whatever. And that's my thing. It's like if on the surface it's supposed to harm like those big expensive schools, that means it's only going to benefit them. And then the ones that are like kind of just treading water in the middle, they're fucked. And then, yeah, I mean, it should create a push to the state school because, you know, if you could go to Suffolk for accounting or you could go to UMass Boston for accounting, I believe so I would like
Yeah.
to think that there's plenty of UMass Boston graduates and you got to work your connections right and you got to do your internship. Like you have to do it the right way still.
Right.
Because like if you
Right.
go to Suffolk and you work for like a local payroll company in like Taunton, Mass, it's like that does not
Yeah.
fucking do anything
Yeah.
for you. But if you can somehow get an internship at like a massive financial institution in the city, like that's way different.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, like you could, I'm sure someone could take an accounting internship with Northeastern Savings Bank. I'm like, or you could work at Rockland Trust in the city. Like
Right.
those are not the same. So I'd like to think that like that's where you're going to start to see it is the middle. Like the state schools should benefit. Um, which means they can just start charging more because they'll still be within that loan
Yeah.
realm.
Yeah.
Um, especially with the state schools, living there is optional. So it's like that. If that's the cost, like don't live there. Like
Yeah.
so, as much as I like to think, because that's what it seems like on the surface. So it's like obviously that can't be right. So let's think about it for a second. Like, again, it's like I'm done with. It's not just the government either. It's any entity. It's like roll the golf ball back. It'll do this. It's like, no, it won't.
No,
It
no, it won't.
absolutely just won't.
Whatever you
Like,
want it to do, it won't do.
whatever you want to do, it's like, oh, we're going to change something in the NFL and it'll lead to this. It's like, no, it won't.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one's making any meaningful change in anything these days. And I think it's because people lack the intelligence to be able to actually do it. But like, baseball's been trying to get more fans for years. Is that working?
No, it's not.
Like, who is Nikos' buddy? Fucking Cal Raleigh,
Yeah. Yeah. The catcher
Jeff
from
Raleigh.
Seattle.
Christ there.
Yeah.
Like, who is this guy? Like, he's on Barry Bonds' pace, and who the fuck is he?
Yeah. No one's talking about it. I have no idea. Like if Nikos didn't mention it, I would have had no idea.
I mean, I've seen his name a couple times, but although
Yeah.
I did think it was funny, Nikos is always like he's the kind of guy that like down 9-1 hits a home run to go over.
Yeah.
And like I saw him hit a fucking grand slam when they were up 8-3 the other day. Now, I mean that's probably an over anyway,
Right.
but
Right.
wow, another home run. It's like you were up 8-3.
Yeah. Yeah. Like none of those home runs actually like swung the
Well, I mean, but
game.
when you hit, I mean, I think he's hit 38, 39 so far. I'm sure a lot of them are
Yeah.
consequential, but
Right. Right.
yeah, it's funny. It's almost like the empty net goal.
Yeah. So, yeah. Um, all right, I got one more and then we can wrap this up because we got to do two here. So I got something for you that I thought of the other day that came up when Jones was talking about Sabbath and his last thing, the Ozzy's last concert. We talked about it on one episode a couple episodes ago. But then the next day, me and Jones were going back and forth, and we were talking, and I got to thinking, and I thought, is the greatest generation of music about to die off? Like literally die, right? Like I think it's me personally, I think the 70s and 80s were the best time for music. I would even include the late 60s. I would say from like 67 to like, I don't know, maybe like 83, 84. I don't know when albums came out or when bands were big at the time, but I do know like the late 80s got a little crazy because that was a little bit more like cocaine fueled and kind of crazy shit there. But like the early 80s were still good. Again, I would have to see a list of like, discographies from the top people at this time to come up with like definitive dates. But just with no research at all, I feel like, from 67 to like 83 was peak music, right? Of everything, right? I mean, mostly rock music, but also, basically everything else too. Um, but now that Ozzy has retired, right, and he's 77 years old and he's going to die, I looked up some of the other people. Well, Tony Iommi, right, arguably one of the greatest guitarists of all time, is also 77 years old. Then I started looking up, some other people. Obviously, Mick Jagger is 82, but that guy
So
is
he
still
can't die.
fucking crushing it. He's never going to die. We've already said before, he's the guy that's going to live to be 150. Um, then I looked up Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend because the Who just retired. Again, we talked about that a couple months ago when they announced they're both 80. And then Roger Waters is 82, right? Lead singer from Pink Floyd. I think David Gilmour, the guitarist from Pink Floyd, is I think he was 77 or 78. And then Jones brought up all the guys in Metallica now are in their early to mid 60s, right? Like all of these people are 60 plus. Steven Tyler is 77 years old, right? Say what you want about Steven Tyler, right? But obviously Aerosmith is a pretty important band, right? If you're going to include the 70s and 80s in there.
They're not
Um,
important. They're popular. I am
yeah,
not
yeah, I'm
allowing
sorry.
that.
Popular is the better word. Sorry. That's a poor word choice on my
I
part.
would say if Aerosmith never existed, music would be unchanged.
True. Yeah. But it's like we're now we're now at this point where all of these guys are going to be dead within the next 10 to 20 years. Certainly 20, right? Probably 10 to 15 years. Like most of them are going to be dead.
Yeah, I mean, well, they all kind of came. So, I mean, simple math would dictate. I mean, all these guys came out at the same time or 10 years later, and they're all about the same age. So, yeah, I mean, they're all dying out. And then there's nothing really to kind of mix it because most of the grunge guys are dead.
Yeah, Dave
Or,
Grohl is 56. I
yeah,
think Dave Grohl is like the youngest guy.
yeah, I mean, he was a child in Nirvana. So,
Yeah,
and then, like, after Nirvana, I mean, it's like the Foo Fighters, but then again, that's Dave Grohl again. So you don't really have like once you get out of the grunge scene, you now need to start to evaluate what your perspective is because bands were just simply not as good after the grunge scene. And I mean, like, even Tool, like, just not that popular. I know everyone wants to see Tool in the halftime show, but that's all middle-aged white guys. Um, So then you need to move towards, okay, well, like, how do you feel about Jay-Z and uh Beyonce and like because that's the thing is music changed.
right, right.
Um
I
and
feel like
yeah, you
Jay-Z's
just
in his 50s. He is. He's going to be 56 this year. He's the
yeah.
same age as Dave Grohl.
But that's the thing, like early 2000s, I mean, early 2000s was a weird time because I was like Blink 182, some 41, like that new punk sort of
Eminem is
thing.
53.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they were old too. I don't like, I don't know what people are, but this is the thing. Like, I don't know what people are looking for. And
Yeah.
I know like things have just changed. So, like, the only reason I even entertain this is because you go to any white person's barbecue and it's all the same music.
Yeah.
So, it's like still it's still Guns N' Roses and like people still like fucking nod their head and fucking shit to it. I'm like,
Yeah.
yep, Paradise City. That song's about fucking 40 years old now.
Ice Cube is 56.
Yeah, but those are all like those all of those guys
Dr.
were like
Dre is
right around
60.
grunge. Like because it's like NWA was late 80s and then like the rest of those guys were early 90s to start.
Right.
Like they're old too.
Snoop's got to be up there.
And I saw something on Twitter today too, because I think Clips just re-released something, so people are like kind of paying attention. They're like, it really says a lot that 50-year-old members of Wu-Tang and 50-year-old Nas can sell out concerts, and um these new rappers are canceling shows for lack of sales, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, the music's not good, but if anyone wants to go to a Morgan Wallen concert, they're not fucking batting an eye at paying 300, $400 for it and filling
Yeah.
up these places. So it's like they're just on to the next thing.
Right. Right.
So yeah, it's like it sucks that like true actual like rock has been dead for a while.
Yeah.
Because even like the shit that I listen to that's a little bit more contemporary, it's like I would never argue that that would ever be popular. Like it never would,
Right.
and it never will be. Um, it's only popular within a certain crowd. And now it's like what's mainstream popular is, I mean, you want to call it country, you can call it country. I was like mortified to find out because it's like shit plays at work. So I'm like, oh, this is like new music. I'm like, okay. I was mortified to know that they were calling that country. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
I go, that's pop at best.
Yeah. I don't even listen to the radio anymore either, so I wouldn't even know. But
Dude, it's like, I don't, but this is the thing. I don't know the artists either. I don't know the artists. I don't know the songs. And it's like some of it, I'm like, oh, this is country. And then you hear, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess.
yeah.
I was
But
like, that
it's
was the thing
like
was like,
country is now like auto-tuned and shit. And like there's synthesizers and
it's
shit. And
pop,
it's
dude.
like,
That's all it is. It's
what are we
just,
doing? Like, that's not country.
yeah, but it is now.
True. Yeah.
In
Yeah.
2025, it is.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is like, whatever true country is, it's not fucking popular. That ain't selling shit.
Right.
You are
Right.
not paying fucking $300. Like, if Garth Brooks came out today, no
Yeah.
one's paying $300 to see him when they can go see one of the other idiots.
Yeah. But would they go see fuck, what was his name? Shit. Chris something? It was Garth Brooks's alter ego. Chris
I
Bridges? Is that
I
what it
think
is?
I think
Chris
no.
Gaines. Chris Gaines.
Cool.
That was
Like
his alter
that's the thing
ego.
is like, and that was like the reason I've always had like the no country rule in the gym is because it's so fucking slow. It's nauseating. It fucking sucks
Yeah.
in a weight room or a gym. And that's why like now I fucking didn't even notice it was country because I couldn't
Right.
tell.
Right. Right.
And it's like they've sped it up. It's less like twangy and less acousticy. Like they're not using those Fender whatever the
Yeah.
fuck they were anymore. Like I didn't even know. I go, this is just like, cause in truth be told, I thought it was just like bad pop rock. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you people fucking don't like music. And I'm like, and then something came up. I think maybe it was in Michaela's car or something. I don't know. I was like, oh, this is a country artist, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Who knows? But yeah, I mean,
no,
it
I
is
mean,
kind
again,
of sad though, right? Like, and I know you already made the point, right? Which is accurate that rock is effectively dead, right? And like the good
kind of
music
has
is
been.
is is dead. But now Like the people are about to die. That's my point. It's like the people that created it are dying or are soon to die.
Yeah, but they again, it's like it's the same thing though. They're not. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a concert guy, so it's hard for me. This is the thing. It's like hard for
Yeah,
me to
me
give a
neither,
shit.
right? Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like, when the members of Pink Floyd are, or when the members of the Who are dead, I'm like, I'm just unaffected in 2025
Yeah.
because it's like, as far as I'm concerned, the music will live, and the like that era is gone. That era was gone before we were even alive.
This is true. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's like a weird thing with the music. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe like Black Sabbath. It's like, bro, their first album came out like fucking almost 60 years ago.
I think it's
Can't believe is a
telling.
fucking weird word or a
You
weird
would you
phrase.
would know this more than I, just because you work a lot with the youths of today. But I think it's telling that the music from the 60s, 70s, 80s has the staying power, right? Because do younger kids today listen to like Zeppelin or Jimi Hendrix? Like I'm also assuming that the younger kids today, they're not going to listen to the Who, right? They're probably not going to listen to Rush, but like they may listen to Floyd or Zeppelin or Hendrix, right? Like the big, big, big ones.
Yeah, I don't think I just don't see it a lot.
Yeah.
Um, Now again, that does get voiced to me either. But usually, so like what kids usually like whatever their parents listen to, they don't like. So us growing up, like my father liked shit from like the late 50s.
Yeah.
So it's like it was okay to like the other stuff.
Right. Right.
But I assume if everyone's parents now love fucking Tom Petty and shit, it's like they're not gonna like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't hear it a lot. I don't know what people like. I just know that those fucking concerts, like these country singers like today, these concerts are fucking crazy.
Oh
Like
yeah.
sold
Yeah.
out. People go to Mansfield and people pay I forget if Morgan Wallen, it was either 300 or 400, and people were paying it no problem
Yeah. To
to
sit
see
on the lawn.
Morgan Wallen in Mansfield, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And it's like I can't fathom that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I don't know his music either, so it's like that's kind of irrelevant.
I don't really know him either. I think I might know his early stuff. I also don't really listen to country that much anymore. Um, like the
Well, dude,
country that I
but hey,
do
but what do
listen
you listen?
to,
What do you listen to when it's warm outside?
yeah, I know. What do I listen to in the summertime?
Yeah, I
The
mean,
country I listen to still, I have a playlist on my Spotify called like Country 2017 or whatever. It's dated 2017. Like that's the playlist that I still listen to. It's country music from almost a decade ago. Um, so I don't really listen like when I do listen to music and when I do listen to country music, it's from like 10 years ago. Um, if I do listen to music, it's more likely going to be, you know, the Rush, the Floyds, the Zeppelins, the Who, right? Like that stuff. Um, maybe mix in a little Marilyn Manson and Ghost here and there. Um, but I don't know. Just kind of one of those things, right? It's like it's how the world works, I guess, right? You get old and you die.
yep. Well, and again, and here's the other thing too, because like just in the perception of like the general public, people are like, oh my God, I can't believe Ozzy's gonna die, and it's like, well, he's not releasing anything new, and when he did, you all hated it.
Right, right.
What the fuck do you care?
Yeah. Yeah,
He
because
is
that's
like Sabbath is like solid in time, like that is etched in stone in time, like.
right, right.
And like when Ozzy was doing was it solo? I forget now. Was it solo stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was solo stuff. But like, Zach Wild was his guitarist, and people were like, "Oh my God, what's this?" And it's like, Zach Wild's the guitarist. I don't know what you want.
Yeah. That someone has to play guitar.
And that's how he plays guitar. That's what
Right.
he does.
Right.
Wow, this isn't Ozzy. Ozzy's a band and a person, but like
Right. Right.
Ozzy Osbourne, the performer, has a band behind him.
Right.
And yes, Randy Rhoads has been dead a long time too. So no, he ain't coming back.
Yeah. But all right. Well, you want to wrap up game one here?
We can wrap up game one. Have
All
you
right.
ever used the cooking method? I've seen it for steaks. I did it with a pork chop the other day, where you cook it for 90 seconds, you flip it, and then you cook it for 90 seconds, and then I think you do that again. And then like depending on temperature, it's like you can kind of go like a minute over back, kind of like you just kind of keep flipping the fucker for a while. Have you ever
Hmm.
cooked like that?
No, I haven't.
So I've seen it before. I've seen it before. I've never really done it because it's like I always thought, I mean, like, you've heard it with burgers. It's like don't flip it too many times.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, let it cook through. But with the steak, you don't want it to cook through, right? So it's
Right.
like it took
Right.
me till 2025 to kind of like put two and two
Yeah.
together. Or you want it to cook through to an extent. So I think the logic, because I'm no chef, but I think the logic behind this method is that you don't get like the gray, pink, gray when you cook the steak. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like on the inside.
Yep. Yep.
Um, because a lot of times like I don't get a very big cut, so it's like it's frankly it's usually fine. Um,
Yeah.
like I just do like 4 or 5 minutes aside, and that's usually okay. But it's like I know exactly what it is. It's like it cooks from it's like tough on the outside because it's cooked
Right.
because you left it there too long, and then left it even. So I believe it's supposed to combat that, thus giving you like a more uniform cook, and then obviously like that's more tender, it's easier to eat, it's more flavorful, like all of that. So I did do it with a pork chop the other day. I did 90, 90, 90, 90, and then I did think I did 1 and 1.
Okay.
And I mean, it cooked through. Like I didn't overdo it, but it was definitely like done. I know pork chops can be under. I don't think they taste better under.
No.
Um,
I
like
mean,
I
a
know it's
little
safe
pink
and
is
all, and
fine, but like,
a little bit's fine. Like if it works out that way, but yeah, I don't think it's actually much better. Now again, but I don't want them dry either. So
yeah.
it's a fine line I'm looking for here.
What what kind of pan do you cook it in?
So I did that. What was I using? Because um normally I cook cast iron for stuff like that. Oh, I was using my stainless.
And
I
it
was using
didn't
a
stick?
stainless. It did not stick.
Okay. Because that's one of the things, obviously, like people say about stainless steel pans is the pan will tell you when something is ready to be flipped, right? Because it will unstick itself and it will like that's like a thing.
Yeah, it did not have a problem. I didn't even think of it.
Interesting. No, I mean that's good to know, right? Did you oil the fuck out of the pan or just a little bit or
I
just
mean,
kind
I
of
probably oil more than most people. Like I know some people put like a tablespoon in there and swirl. And I'm like, yeah, that ain't
yeah, no,
me.
I also use quite a bit of oil, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, again, I let the pan heat up. I let the oil heat up. So it's like I do the standard stuff there.
Right,
I mean,
right.
I've
Okay.
been there,
Yeah.
like when I try to cook too quickly or like I try to like force the issue. Yeah, it's like,
It sticks and you're
pan
like, oh
wasn't quite
fuck.
hot enough.
Yep. Yep. I do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially like you get home from work, like I want to play with the kid, we're hanging out in the backyard. I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta go start dinner. And then I do that. I rush it, right? You rush it a little bit, then you're like, ah shit, now the chicken's stuck to the pan. Now I gotta fucking scrape it off. It's like it's a thing. It happens.
Yep.
Right.
I
You
mean, I
want
left
to
the
you
thing
try
out, so it warmed up a little bit. So I don't know.
yeah.
I didn't have a problem with it.
All right. Well, I
Um,
mean, that's good to know. I wonder how and if cast iron would affect it too.
it wouldn't. I
Yeah,
don't think.
I don't yeah.
I think the only thing to be learned from it is by doing the thickness of whatever you're cooking, steak, pork chop, whatever, 90, 90, 90, 90, and then how much more do I need? I don't have that answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people go, it's like, oh, well, you just do a minute at a time until it's what you want. It's like, Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm not throwing a fucking meat thermometer in like a thin thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, maybe I'll check that out. That seems interesting. Um, my final thought shouldn't take very long. Me and Vinny played New England Country Club this morning. It's the first time I played there probably in at least 2 years. Um, got my absolute ass handed to me. I also just played like shit, right? So I had the combination of I played like shit and it was tough. Right. There was a few holes. There was a really hard pin placement. The greens were super fast. I had more three putts today than, well, that's not true because I had a bunch of three putts at Plymouth. I was going to say, I think I had more three putts today than I have all year combined. Um, but I had a lot of three putts today. Probably almost the same amount that I did at Plymouth. I think I had four or five three putts today, and only two one putts. So, um, not great. I barely kept it under 100, only shot 97. It was one of those where at the end of the round, I was like, this is going to be like a 104. Like, this is just bad. This is just bad golf. Um, so I was like pleasantly surprised to see a number under 100. But yeah, shout out to New England Country Club, I guess. That was a tough one today. We got paired up with two guys that actually ended up being pretty good shit. Um they were just basically like us, right? They were just as good as well, just as good as me. I would say Vinny struggled a little bit too. He shot a 127.
A lot of shots, man.
Yeah.
Just a
Yeah,
lot of swings.
it is. It is a lot of swings. I think this was the first time Vinny played all year.
Yeah, I was gonna
Um
say, I know he wasn't playing much last year.
yeah. Yeah, his back is iffy. It's off and on at times. So um yeah, it was a tough one, but we made through it. We made it through, and I got to play New England Country Club again. It is a really, really nice course. I do like it. Playing it again today, I was like, yeah, yeah, it's a cool spot. There's a lot of blind shots. Like there's a lot of blind shots, but it is a nice course. Like it's got a little bit of everything there. So yeah, shout out to New England Country Club for kicking my fucking ass. But that's going to do it for us for now. So thank you for watching wherever you are. Don't forget to subscribe to the show. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. Leave us a review on Spotify and iTunes. Tell everybody you know about the show. You get the social medias on the bottom of the screen. And until next time, good night, everybody.